The initial indication is that it shouldn't be too difficult. But one's just treading a little cautiously. It's a live operation. One doesn't want the quality to get degraded. So that possibly will happen. That is a bridge that we would look to cross maybe 6 to 8 months down the line, if at all. So you might well ask, what is it that drove us to village, rural India for village call centers? Fundamentally, I think it was a commercial issue. The price points that domestic market pays are low. And if we had to be economically viable and sustainable, our business had to be economically viable and sustainable, we had to reinvent the model. And this was an option, which we experimented with, which worked pretty well. So some of the challenges that we faced, brotherhood statements really, irregular power, poor reliable telecom facilities, and unreliable telecom facilities, virtual absence of computer literate staff. Hardly anybody who knew what computers were, and therefore keyboarding skills. So to give you an idea, an average call that takes about 3 minutes in Hyderabad takes about 9 to 10 minutes in Ethiopia. But that's something we're willing to live with. Not indefinitely, at least for maybe 3 months, 4 months in the initial stages. Because they still need to search for the alphabets on the keyboard. There was a very strong disinclination of supervisory staff from our urban locations to move to rural locations to supervise. So we had to identify people who would then move up and take over locally in the village. And that is a 3 to 4 month time frame. So we had people going in playing a relay race. Somebody would go for a month, month and a half, 2 months, come back. And we had to incentivize them by giving them extra money. The urban guys to go into the rural areas. We did that as well. While in Ethiopia the population is 4,500, there is keenness for people from the neighboring villages also to come and work here. Transportation, road availability or lack of it creates a problem. So that's something which we haven't linked as yet. So we have guys coming on bicycles and etc., but there's still keenness to come and work. We had to impart skills that we believe this industry needs. Soft skills, customer orientation. It's there, subliminal, but it needs to be brought up to the surface. The degrees that some of them they've got, frankly, have no value. They're pieces of paper. If they want to get jobs in the cities, those degrees, those colleges, those universities, or those schools are not recognized. Nobody's even going to look at that piece of paper. So that degree that they've got is worthless. The few who've got those degrees. English, as I said, is an issue that has some distance to cover. And possibly the risk of over time is that once they are reasonably familiar with what they're doing, they could start migrating to urban locations for higher salaries. But personally, I'd be surprised if that happens. It's not that the opportunities were not there. If these guys could be employed by us, they could have migrated to urban locations earlier and possibly got a job. So there may be few who will move. I don't think that will happen in large numbers. I was talking earlier about what drove us there. One was an adequate, it's not abundant, but it's adequate availability of an employable pool. And the word employable pool needs to be viewed in context of the experience that we've had, that employable has been redefined. So it is not employable as we visualize, as we understand it in the city. This is rural India, it's a village. You redefine what is employability, and that constitutes my employable pool. Salaries are significantly lower, varying between 1,500 to 4,000 rupees a month. We are largely a domestic payer, and it enables us to serve the domestic market, capitalize on local language skills, Gujarati and Telugu at the moment. It also, as a byproduct, addresses CSR. CSR is a byproduct here. It is not the focus. The focus is running the business. So to me, if it's a very happy marriage. You're running a business, and as a byproduct, CSR happens. In the long run, one expects, over a period of time, I don't know, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe longer, that just like BPO, IT services, and all of these areas have helped accelerate development of infrastructure in cities, whether it's in buildings, whether it's in transportation, and increase the level of disposable income that's available to citizens in urban India. Possibly to a lesser extent it might happen in rural India as well. One would expect that the standard of living would go up, and hopefully over a period of time there may be reverse migration from urban areas. That's a wish. On the supply side, why is it that we seem to be having a reasonable number of people who are keen to work with us? Surprisingly, there seems to be a perception that we've encountered in these two locations, and all that I'm talking about is based on our experience of two locations. That a white-collar job appears to create a change in the perceived status of the family. And this was not something that we thought would happen, but this is something that we've seen. It appears to create a change in the perceived status of the family. Because the income is not agricultural based, it's more regular, it's more reliable. There is ability to improve quality of life and take slightly long-term decisions from a finance perspective as far as the unit is concerned. What we've seen is in the 3 months in Ithakota, there are individuals who've enrolled for distance education. Somebody is wanting to do an MCA with the Anamala University as a distance education. Somebody is wanting to do something else. There are others who are trying to get their siblings educated. This guy's got a job, he's working, but the brother and sister who are younger, let's see if we can get them educated. And the women folks, the mothers and women, they really want, their goal in life is, let me get a better quality of life for my children. That's why they're working in the call center. It gives them an opportunity. They're also keen to get out of the vicious cycle of poverty. It just goes on and on. It helps them get out of it. So a whole host of things that we've seen. And all of this, what we observed was, creates an extremely motivated team which is willing to learn. And the last piece is actually a quote from one of the agents, that he would like to be successful like the man on TV. That's his dream. Now, I don't know whether it's a Raymond man or whatever, but that's what he says. I'd like to be successful like the man on TV, which is very touching, actually. I'll quickly wind up with some photographs. This is a lady, a domestic worker. That's what she does in the morning, and that's what she does in the afternoon. Working in a call center, taking calls. That's an individual, farm laborer, agricultural worker, in the call center. It's a temple priest in Ithakota, in the call center. So it gives a flavor of the different cross-sections of society from which individuals are coming in. And that is the view of the call center. And I just thought I'd wind up with Robert Goddard's views. Thank you.